X-Men is my favorite superhero franchise of all time, so when news came out that Marvel, A6, and Kith are coming together for a collaboration to celebrate X-Men's 60th year anniversary, I was mad excited. Now there's 7 A6 Gel Light 3 remastered shoes as part of this collection, so there's Storm, Rogue, Cyclops, Beast, Gambit, and 2 Wolverine variations. Now the official release date for this collaboration was July 28th, and it wasn't just shoes, there was apparel as well. You can see I'm wearing one of the t-shirts as part of that collection. However, the big ticket item was obviously the shoes. They also had a pop-up store and Comic-Con, but during that time, Kith.com was actually popping up with the shoes available to buy, so I was lucky enough to grab them during that time. Wasn't sure if it was an accident, but it popped up like several times, sold out very quickly, but I guess if you buy during that time, if you got lucky and saw it, they had to ship it. Now the catch was that the shoes came in a mystery box, so you actually had no idea what you were buying till you actually got the shoe in hand. I know a lot of people have problems with mystery boxes. You're spending so much money and you have no idea what you're getting. In general, I agree with the premise. However, because I'm such a big fan of X-Men, I actually wouldn't be too upset at whatever shoe I got. Whatever character it is, I'd probably be happy. Now I actually still have no idea what shoe I got. I've had these for like at least a week in my house. I just put it aside. I want to do like a live unboxing when I'm recording a video, so just to make it a bit more fun. And my favorite character from X-Men is Gambit, mainly because he was like that dude that would get in trouble, but he was still a ladies' man, so he got all the girls' attention. And growing up, I got no Mushu, like no Mushu. So I was always jealous, I always wanted to be that guy, so for that reason, I just gravitated towards Gambit, and the whole cards thing is pretty cool as well. Our second favorite character, very close second, there's Wolverine. There's just so many dimensions and so many things I can relate to Wolverine about. So I wouldn't be too mad if I got Wolverine's shoes as well. And my least favorite character, just out of all X-Men, not just like these 6 characters as part of this collection, just my least overall, is Cyclops. So I definitely don't really want his shoes. He was just that like goody 2-shoes character that could do no wrong. It was just boring, like some dude just shooting beams out of his eyes. Not my thing. Anyway, with all that said, here's the live unboxing. Here we go. So I do want to quickly talk about the box. It comes in this sleeve. It's a very cool sleeve with X-Men characters in the background, and then the X-Men logo in the middle, and then the words Marvel in collaboration with Kith, A6 Gel Light 3 07 Remastered Special Edition. And then on the box of the sleeve, you see more characters like Beast, Gambit, Storm, and Sabretooth kind of folds over the sides. Very, very cool. On this side, it's Magneto, probably the best villain out of all X-Men characters, or at least the most well-known anyway. Then on the other side, you got Rogue. So I'm gonna take this sleeve off and attempt to take it off without ripping it. I'm just so clumsy when it comes to these things, especially trying to do it in front of a camera. It's kind of awkward, but here goes. I might not be able to get this in frame, but doing it live. Okay, here we go. Got the sleeve loose. Try not to rip it. Uncovering the sleeve, you can see like an orange gradient box. So on one side it says Marvel, and then 6 different heroes to collect. On the other side, the original mutant superheroes X-Men. And then on the cover, and the 6 characters, it says it's a mystery pack. Just all around super cool. I just love X-Men. Brings me back to my childhood. This seam here is where I'm gonna rip and then eventually open this box up. Again, I'm super clumsy when it comes to this. I like always just rip things apart. Trying to be gentle, so bear with me here. Here we go. Right. Okay, so it opens up this way. Woo! Okay, so I got Rogue. Not gonna lie, bit of a letdown. God. There's 2 Wolverines and there's 1 Gambit. 3 out of 6 that I would have been super happy about. Now Rogue's a pretty cool character, not the worst. And the colorway is actually pretty nice for Rogue's shoes. There's a part of me that just wishes I would have hit on Gambit. Anyway, it comes with a pretty cool card in this plastic case. And then on the reverse, there's like a bunch of information. I like that memorabilia, these little side things that they throw in with shoes, especially with special releases and collaborations. I'm always a fan of. And then inside the shoe, see like this special paper, almost feels like tin foil metallic paper. Take this out. Wow, this is packaged very nicely. There it goes. Ooh. Hey, listen, I'm a fan of green shoes, so I'm actually not too bummed that I got Rogue, despite it not being my favorite. Probably would have preferred Beast if I didn't get Gambit or Wolverine, but this is pretty nice. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like Ninja Turtles. It's not the worst, but yeah, overall in a vacuum, I don't hate this. And on the left shoe, it actually comes with a bunch of ASICS tags. At least it wasn't Cyclops. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spend some time with this shoe, like off camera. Just look through the shoe, look at the materials, look at the specs, and put it on feet so I can give you like an in-depth review. So I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna carry on this video and finish the review. And we're back. So I spent some time with the shoe, put it on feet, played around with it, and the colorway of the shoe, of course, it's based on Rogue's character. So very heavy use of green and yellow. Myself, I'm actually a fan of green, especially olive green, maybe not this green, but this darker green is much better than like a very light and bright green. So I don't mind it too much. I don't know if I love it with this yellow, but because it's X-Men, I'll accept it. And the upper sole of the shoe, it is a suede base layer with leather overlays. And the suede, it's pretty nice. I'm not gonna say it's like premium. It's pretty nice suede, pretty nice to the touch. I can't tell if it's synthetic or not. If it is synthetic, they did a pretty good job of it. It's not like super synthetic like you would find on maybe like an Air Max 1 or like the Air Max 1 Big Bubble. That suede on that shoe is pretty synthetic and you can tell just by touching it. This one, it's a bit harder to tell. So in general, the suede is pretty nice. And the leather itself is nice as well. And then on the ASICS logo, it comes in this olive color. And this shoe is a Gel-Lyte 3 remastered. So the difference between the remastered version and the original Gel-Lyte 3, very subtle changes. So they made slight changes to different areas of the shoe. So something like the toe weight, as well as the midsole height, and then the heel counter size and width, as well as some other very subtle changes that you might not be able to tell just from images. There's like a photo or image of the tech spec changes from the original to the remastered. And the most distinct feature about the Gel-Lyte 3 is that split tongue. So first, you see that tongue, it is part of the shoe. So it's not like a separate thing on its own. It like wraps all the way around your heel counter. It's what keeps your feet actually in place. And the reason they split this tongue is, according to ASICS anyway, it's so it hugs your feet, so it provides more support, and it also reduces friction. So if you're wearing this shoe for a long period of time, it just doesn't rub up against your ankles, which I can see kind of making sense. However, if you wear socks that are like long enough, I guess, won't really have that problem. I'm not sure practically if it makes a huge difference, but that is like one of the most distinct and defining features of the Gel-Lyte 3. And on one tongue it says Feig. Obviously Ronnie Feig is the owner of Kith. And on the other tongue it says X-Men. Now one good thing about this split tongue feature is, unlike traditional tongues where it's like a separate thing, it kind of slips and slides and you have to fix it every time, this, because it's split, it's part of the shoe, it just kind of wraps around your ankles. No fixing. Another part where they switch things up and kind of had different things on each shoe is on the right shoe, the insole says ASICS with the Kith logo underneath, and on the left, it has the word Rogue. So nice little subtle changes. And on the booty of the shoe, you see like this cage or netting. You see that dark green part? That is a TPU material, that solid TPU that adds the more stability and support for your feet. And then right around the heel counter, you see the words Gel-Lyte 3, just in case you forget what shoe you're wearing. And I think overall, the support and the stability of the shoe, it is very nice. You feel like your feet are solidly in place. I'll have more to say on sizing later. I actually got this shoe half a size up, and I'll explain why later when I talk about sizing. However, even though it is a size up, I think in terms of the ankle, in terms of your feet, at least the width of your feet, it really like locks it in place. And the ASICS Gel-Lyte 3 obviously makes use of ASICS gel technology. So what that essentially is a semi-fluid substance that was inspired by how well silicone could absorb impact, that is embedded in the EVA midsole. And the EVA foam midsole actually has 3 different types of densities. And when you first put this shoe on feet, it's actually, for me anyway, it's surprising how kind of solid and hard the cushioning is. And I don't mean that in a bad way. For whatever reason, when I got this shoe in hand, I just expected it to be like a super soft cushioned shoe. The foam midsole itself is pretty soft. Like it's bouncy, it's soft. But what you actually feel on feet, like the insole, like the cushioning on feet, it's pretty solid. It's a bit more flat than I imagined. Definitely more flat than the Gel-Lyte 5 Liberty that I reviewed earlier this year. As someone that has bad knees and back, I appreciate that. And the weight of the shoe is just so light. It's like wearing socks almost. And I expected that because the Gel-Lyte 5 was super light as well. So that was no surprises. However, I actually like a little bit of weight on feet. I kind of like feeling the fact, or knowing the fact, or being reminded of the fact that I'm actually wearing shoes. I don't like it when I'm just like floating when I'm walking. I don't know, it's just a me thing, but that's what I prefer. And that's probably why I think the Jordan 5s are still so comfortable. The cushioning as well as the padding inside, and there's a bit of weight to the shoe, it just strikes the right balance for me. And the color of the midsole is interesting. Around the midfoot area, they have a sail midsole with the word ASICS imprinted on top, and the rest of the midsole is white. Not sure if I love that. I think I would have preferred just one color, preferably white midsole. And if they were going to go with a sail midsole, just make the whole thing sail. Don't really love how they split it up. The shoe does come with a pretty traditional rubber outsole. I think most people would be walking in these shoes, so the traction isn't a huge deal. But when I look at the traction, I'm just so used to or prefer herringbone traction. I'm looking at this traction, and I just don't feel like it's going to be the best traction. This shoe also comes with 2 extra laces, so one in that white color and one in this dark green color. And I think for me, I'm probably just going to stick with the default laces, these rope-like laces that has a mixture of yellow and green. I think that looks pretty nice on the shoe, it fits pretty well, but I'm going to have both on feet so you can see what it looks like with a lace swap. For me, personally, I just prefer the default laces. And now moving on to sizing, I'm a size 9.5, true to size. I do have wide feet, and for this shoe, I went up half a size to a size 10. And the main reason being, when this shoe popped up on kith.com, only size 10 was available. I couldn't get size 9.5. Now usually for a shoe that I'm really anticipating or really want, I'd go to the resale market. I try to avoid it, but it is what it is. So sometimes you just have to. But because this popped up, and it popped up during the Comic-Con, so before the actual global release date, so it was kind of earlier than the release date, I was like, I'm just gonna go up half a size, deal with it, see if it works. And I will say width-wise, I don't know if it's because of that split tongue feature, where it just kind of wraps and molds around your ankles, but width-wise, it's actually pretty perfect. So the Gel-Lyte 5 that I reviewed earlier, I went true to size for that shoe, and that was pretty snug, width-wise anyway. Not so snug where it's uncomfortable, but comfortably snug. With this shoe, slightly looser, obviously because I went up half a size, but not a problem. It still fits very nice around my feet, and I actually kind of prefer this width. However, the length, that's where there's a bit of an issue. There's a bit of room in the toe box, you can definitely feel it, and over time, that kind of leads to really ugly creasing on the shoe. Don't know if it'll happen for this shoe specifically, but lengthwise, not my favorite, but in general, overall, not a deal breaker. So if you don't have wide feet, I do recommend staying true to size. If you do have wide feet, I'd probably still go true to size if I had to choose one, but you can't go wrong going up half a size. And comfort-wise, like I alluded to earlier, it's a very comfortable shoe. The cushioning isn't as soft and squishy as I expected it to be, so it's perfect for me. However, the lightness of the shoe, I just don't love it that light, and it's just a personal preference. I think most people will find this shoe very, very comfortable. And that brings the total sole score to 18 out of 25. A pretty good score compared to other collaborations. Colorway wise, like I said before, I like it, don't love it. Honestly, not sure how I feel about it right now compared to the other 6 colorways. I think in a vacuum, disregarding the characters associated with it, I think Storm as well as Beast, they were better colors than this shoe. It's not the one that I wanted, but I honestly can't complain. It's pretty nice. Now in terms of materials, I think the suede and the leather overlays, they're pretty nice. I can't say they're like super premium or anything. I do like the foam midsole that embeds the Gel-Lyte technology from ASICS. It does feel nice. So overall, the materials on the shoe, it's very good. In terms of comfort, like I mentioned before, most people probably would think this is a very comfortable shoe. Myself, I think the lightness of it is maybe a bit too much for me, but if I was being objective, very, very comfortable. Now in terms of versatility, this colorway, I will be honest, it's a bit hard to wear. The green and yellow, it just pops. It really pops. It's very unique, it's very different. People are going to look at this shoe. In terms of the silhouette itself, I think it's a pretty versatile silhouette. It's very much like a casual running shoe, walking shoe type vibe that is very popular nowadays. So I think the versatility of the silhouette works. Colorway, maybe not so much in terms of versatility. Finally, storytelling. I went through the unboxing, I talked about the box, I talked about the card that comes with the box, the different little changes they have on each shoe. Storytelling is immense on the shoe. Perfect. And I love it. I'm a good sucker for storytelling, especially for special releases and collaborations, so I think they did a really good job. Honestly, regardless of which mystery pack that I got, whichever character I got, I would have convinced myself that I was happy with the shoe. I'm just such a big fan of X-Men. I'm just excited when something like this comes out, and on a shoe that's very, very nice, like the Gel Lyte 3 Remastered, I think it hits all the right spots for me. So that's it. Thanks for watching Soul Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Marvel Kith Gel Lyte 3 Remastered Rogue. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.